Fine on the Inside was curated to switch the narrative, to show that it's never too late to shift your mindset, heal your heart, and live the life that you truly desire. Sis, you are magic. You just haven't discovered it yet. But in order to get to the goal, you have to do a little bit of digging, getting through all the hard stuff to allow your true self to shine. Because yes, you are beautiful. But how is your soul really feeling? Are you fine on the inside?
Hey y'all, welcome back to Fine on the Inside. This your girl Jazz, and I am here with co-host. You already know Candace over here. Hey girl.
Hey, hey.
And today we have a special guest. We have Big Bentley Neesh in the building.
Hey, she's here.
How are
So
you
good.
today?
I feel amazing. Amazing. Today's a great day.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. I'm so hyped.
My pleasure.
To talk to you. We about to get into the conversation. Can you just introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about what you do?
So every time somebody asks me that, I'm like, where do I start?
Right.
I do a lot of things. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I guess the first thing that I could say, well, I had a finance company for since 2013 where I assisted, I did business consulting for business startups and seasoned business owners. Also provided funding for business owners. So if you were already in business and you were looking to obtain some business funding and some capital to scale up, I was your girl for that. Well, still am. I'm not going to say past tense. Your girl for that. Credit repair, home ownership, you name it, whatever in the finances. I also created a financial literacy curriculum. So that is something that I'm very passionate about now. So I kind of ventured over to this because I felt that it was such a strong need for Black and brown children to understand the importance of financial literacy. And it literally changed my life.
Yes.
So the reason I am successful is because I had the information poured into me.
Yeah.
So I created a curriculum. And I took that curriculum and I presented it to a few schools. So now I teach financial literacy. And the Philadelphia School District, I was in Chester County and, just trying to scale up with that. Philadelphia was actually trying to make it a requirement for high school students to pass a financial literacy course. So I'm working on my curriculum being that standard. So I'm pushing for that.
Activated.
Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody.
Activism.
That I'm also a full-time real estate investor. I am also like I said, a business coach. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18 years old, but a full-time entrepreneur, meaning I haven't worked for anybody since I was 25 years
I
old.
love that.
Absolutely. I kill what I eat, baby. Come on, somebody.
Yeah.
I'm here for
And
it.
I'm a book author, public speaker, as I met you, Jazz,
Yeah,
speaking at an
nice.
event. What else I do? Travel the world. I've been to 30-something countries because that's my thing.
What was your favorite country?
Favorite country? We just came back from Ghana
Oh,
in
nice.
January.
Okay.
That was a time.
Woo.
But that was my third time in Africa. In Egypt, the Egyptians you can't really tap into the culture in Egypt. But I went to Senegal. Senegal was great. But Ghana, it's how you walk in your home and you feel like, I'm home.
Yes.
Peace. I
Yes.
could be myself. I feel free. I
Right.
can let my guard down. This is my safe space.
Yeah.
That's how I felt in Ghana.
That's beautiful. Have you been to Greece?
I have not been to Greece. I have not been to
That's
You
Greece.
on my
may want to
bucket
put
list.
that.
No, it is.
I went.
Santorini. I think that's.
I went to Mykonos.
Oh, did you love it?
And whoo, did I
said,
love it. From the flight, so Emirates,
Oh, Emirates, baby. We flew Emirates to Dubai.
business class.
Baby, oh my God. Listen,
Champagne.
no, first of all,
Yo.
my son, he's 15 now. He flies with me to a lot of different countries.
Yes.
When we did Emirates, I couldn't get him on a regular.
Yo, I don't want to fly regular. For Atlanta,
Yo,
I'm
my
like,
son-
I need first class to go to Atlanta
Listen,
now. Like,
isn't it a difference? It makes you want to work harder to always be
Yes.
able to be exposed to
and the
that.
champagne.
Yes. Did you get this little care pack?
Yo,
Baby.
yeah. I carried that. And
What did they
then
give
I
my
gotta
son?
get that.
They gave
I
my
gotta
son
go on
this
that.
really expensive cologne. What was it? I can't remember. But I was like, oh my God, they give you the eye things. They give you the
It's everything
champagne. They
in
give
the
you the wash.
stores.
So it's just, oh my God.
And so when I
It's a
went
time.
to
One at a
Greece,
time.
yo, when I went to Greece, okay, imagine this. You got a yacht.
Oh.
It's me, you, and
Ooh.
Jasmine. Just us three.
Oh.
We in the Geegan Sea.
Oh.
We got a chef.
Come on,
That sound
somebody.
like a vibe.
I had that
You
experience.
said I need to live like this
Wow,
every day.
yes.
I had a villa.
I love it.
I love that.
I love
Oh
it.
my God. So
I
traveling
love it.
is,
I've never been. That's on our list though. That is on our list. But traveling is nothing like it. I learned this time when I went to Africa in January. It's called the Dirty December.
Okay.
So they just like literally, we were walking. First of all, I'm 44. I'm not staying out till 10 o'clock the next morning. 10 a.m. the next morning. Sure. We were getting up to come out to do our tours.
Yeah.
And the younger kids were coming in from the club at 10
I heard
and 11 o'clock.
Ghana was like a party spot. Like,
For Dirty December.
yeah.
It's just nothing but parties. Nothing but parties. But it's so much opportunity there. I saw Yandy. I ran into Dr. Umar.
Oh,
at the gas
right.
I was so excited. Ran into Dr. Umar at the castle.
Oh, that's lit.
And it was like
amazing.
the old slave quarters where they held the slaves before they put them on the ship. It's called the Door of No Return. And he was there. So they were there getting their citizenship. Because Ghana is giving anybody of African descent their citizenship.
Say something.
Yes. So they're encouraging you to come over and become a citizen.
We need to take a
No,
trip.
we
need to
should.
go
You would
there.
love it. I'm
Might
telling
tap
y'all,
into
man.
that.
We need to go.
I learned more on this trip about African people, my ancestors, and the culture on the 10 or 11 days that I were there versus my whole entire life.
Wow.
It was deep.
That's crazy.
Beautiful experience.
And they
Beautiful.
hide so much stuff over here. Like, they don't tell us the real details. So it's like, you gotta get that.
I was just like digging, y'all. I found that Barclay Bank was established off of slave trading.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I did have credit with
Barclay
them, so.
Bank was around. They built insurance companies from slave trade. I didn't even know that the slave owners had insurance on the slaves.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And a lot of them, they threw them off the ship
Wow.
to get the insurance. It's so deep.
That is
it's so
crazy.
deep. The Hilton Hotel,
Yeah.
slave trader, major slave trader. That's how he built his wealth. It's deep.
Wow.
It's just so much. You know what I mean? So I
Wow,
can't look
yeah.
at stuff the same. Like I can't undo.
can't
It's like
unsee it.
eye-opening.
I
Yeah,
can't
that's why you
unlearn.
gotta, like,
Yep.
travel
You can't
out and get
unsee
to
it.
Gotta
the new
travel.
places.
It
Yeah.
was good though.
That's really good.
So,
Great
like,
experience.
what inspired you to get into, like, finances and everything?
So it's so funny because I remember maybe about 15 years ago, my pastor said, "You knowing about money, that's a gift."
Right.
And I
It
never
is.
looked at it like that, right? Because I'm
Right.
just thinking, hey, everybody knows about finances and credit, how to flip your
Right.
money and how to invest your money into other things to create more money and create a snowball effect. I thought that was just something normal. I don't even know. I just think like I've always just been like fascinated. I remember in high school, I was 14. Well, I have to give props to my dad. He was an entrepreneur. So I kind of like heard the language all the time. I saw him hustle. I saw him make money and own and run successful businesses. When I was 14, I used to sell cassette tapes. I don't know how old you guys are, but you remember
Yeah, we
cassette
know about
tapes?
the
Yes,
cassette
Okay,
tapes.
cassette tapes. So my dad would take me to this guy. We would meet at Broad and Girard at the McDonald's, and he would take me to him to buy the cassette tapes for $1. And I would pick out Biggie and Tupac, and I would load up all my tapes, put them in my duffel bag, pay him his money, and then I would go to school on Monday and ask my teacher, "Excuse me, can I go to the bathroom?" And sneak in all the lunch rooms, all the lunch times, and I would sell my cassette tapes for $5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk
So
about
I was
that.
already training to be an entrepreneur at 14.
Yes.
So I would make $4
I love that.
off of every cassette
Yes.
tape. I would take my from my $4, I would always put my $1 back up so that I can re-up.
Oh,
and then I
my
would take my
goodness.
$4 and like, well, what I'm going to do with this? I need to do some more stuff. I want to make more money. And that was the start of it.
I love that. That is a story to tell.
Yes,
That's
wow.
so good.
Yeah.
So, just for, like, some little icebreakers, what is, like, some hobbies or interests that people, like, might be surprised to know about you?
That's a good question. I just became like an outdoor kind of girl.
Okay.
People see me like, "You're so this and that." I'm like, "Baby, put on some hiking boots. I want to get down and dirty."
You should come out with us sometime. We have like a little hiking club called Climate
We
Connect.
would love it. What's the name of it?
Climate Connect.
I love it.
And since we're talking about events, we talking about Climb Connect. You have an event coming up on March 3rd.
Yeah.
My event is March the 2nd, actually.
Second,
March
okay.
the 2nd, and it is empower, inspire, and transform event for minority women in business. It's going to be amazing. I've found that so many women in business do not have the resources that they need to grow their business, to scale their business, even just to obtain funding. I'm not even gonna hold you. A lot of my business funding, I took that and invested in other things.
Yeah.
So a lot of people aren't even aware of that. It's like, oh, you get business credit. As long as you pay these banks back, you're good.
Right.
So, like, let's say you wind up getting $100,000 worth of business revolving lines of credit, right? And now you have this 100,000, but your business is doing well, so you really don't need to use it for that. But maybe another friend say, "Girl, I want to finally get my hair salon.
Right.
I don't have the money, but you know my clientele. I got a large clientele. I'm popping on the gram. I have a huge following. I have a customer base that's supported me for years." She might say, "I need 20,000."
Right.
So you might say, "Well, I got 20,000. How much of the percentage of the business am I going to get if I give you the 20,000?" She might say, "Oh, well, I'll give you 20%." Well, once you recoup your 20,000 back, now anything after that is residual income. So you just created income for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That.
So just, understanding that. But yeah.
What was I going to say? No, you're fine. I just, because we're talking about events. We're also, me and JS have a nonprofit called No, Better Together.
Oh, you be like the family nights. Oh, yeah.
This month we're actually focusing on financial literacy.
Oh.
And we're trying to do it for the kids and the adults so that everybody in the family is learning and growing together.
Yeah.
That's
And
super
so
smart.
we making.
That's super smart. One of the things that I learned in reference to me just being financially literate, right, is a lot of times you'll be explaining something to people. It's like me speaking Spanish to somebody who only understands English. And I really had to understand that. Even when I created my curriculum, I had to speak the language that the children could understand. I had to break it down and simplify it and make it fun and cool, right? So I found a clever way to do that when I'm teaching and educating, whether it's adults or children, about financial literacy. One time my friend said, "Ranisha, listen, everybody don't know about a trade line and a line of credit, and they don't know about installment account and a revolving account. And you got to break it down for us. What
That's
you talking about?"
Yeah, because I be confused sometimes. Like, what?
Yeah.
What is that?
But I think once you get it, you become so much more powerful. And then you break the cycle, because then you can go back and educate your family, the ones that want it. Some of them would literally watch you win and become successful and not even want to, like, "Hey, what do I have to do?" But the ones that do, you can go back and you can pour into them and feed them. So that's what it's about.
For sure. So, so for Fight on the Inside, it's all about, like, us, trying to help people with their mental health and stuff like that. And when I see you at the brunch, you were really, like, talking heavy and you were really talking about, like, how we should be healing and stuff like that.
Right.
So I just wanted to talk about, like, the connection of, like, healing, us, like, getting into businesses and, stuff like that. So one of the first questions was, why do you think healing and inner work is important before, like, getting into business?
So, like, that's the foundation. First of all, people who are stressed and depressed, you can't even focus on a career, a happy life. You can't even go outside of that until you do the inner work, until you heal. Today, I was on my live, and I was talking about the women's conference, and I was like, yo, it's so much bigger than just, educating on financial freedom, helping you scale your business, grow your business, giving you the resources for your business. It's bigger than just business and finance. I am one of those people who advocate for wholeness, right? I don't want to come in here fly my mink. I got the nice whip parked outside. I got the big, beautiful home. I got all of these things, but I'm broken. My spirit is broken. Like, no, I want the spirit to be right. I want my finances to be right. I want to be healthy internally. I want to eat good. I want to work out and be good to my body. I want to do the spiritual work. I want to meditate. I want to pray. I want to make sure I have a relationship with God. I want to make sure I'm treating God's people good. Everything has to work together for you to be the best version of you. So we don't want to skip around those parts, especially that inward man, that spirit. That's super important.
And like you said, with the foundation, I feel like it's flimsy. Like, when you start trying to build certain businesses and stuff like that, and then you wonder why things are collapsing, you messing up certain relationships and stuff like that, because, like, we guard it and all that. So I think that's, like, super important. So what you were saying that I'm like, yeah.
Doing the work. You got to do the work. I just recently did somebody tell me, or was I watching something? No, I think so. We do these Transparent Tuesdays on live, and we have a licensed therapist, my girlfriend Carla. So it's me. I'm a co-host. B. McFly is a co-host, and then Carla, she's a licensed therapist. And I didn't know this. She told me this. Women who have messed up relationships with their mom, who don't have good relationships with their mother, have a hard time building relationships with other women. Did y'all know that?
No.
I
Deep,
know
right?
that.
But it makes sense,
It does.
right? So imagine if you never done the work and you never healed from that.
Right.
And you still holding on to all of this animosity and all of this trauma and all of this toxicity against your mother. It's going to be hard for you to maneuver as an entrepreneur and connect with other women.
Yeah.
You'll be guarded.
Right.
You going to have trust issues. I ain't trusting her.
Right.
Oh, I ain't giving nobody my. Oh, I ain't doing that. Oh, that's too. I don't like her. I don't like. You're going to have trouble.
Yeah.
So that's a part of doing the work too, healing from your trauma, so that you can go ahead and walk in the doors that God have waiting for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I believe
I feel
that.
like a lot of people miss opportunities being like that. Like,
From their own stuff.
Yep.
Their own baggage, man. When you get free, you just begin to attract all types of things and great people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, come on, I met you. Like,
I
let's
love
go.
that. Yeah, I love it.
Have you ever noticed, like, you know, like your own personal, like, struggles, like maybe like in your past or anything, like that held
Absolutely.
you back?
Absolutely. One of mine was not so much in the business, but one of my struggles was abandonment from my mother, right?
Yeah.
Not even knowing all of these years that it was affecting me. Just moving through life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just moving like,
Thinking you moving.
thinking I'm moving.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was a disconnect in my
Yeah.
relationships because I was so guarded and
Yeah.
I was self-sabotage. So the moment that I felt like I couldn't control it on an emotional level, I was like, I don't like him no more. Time to go.
Right, yeah.
I don't like the way you sat in the chair.
Right.
I don't like the way your boots ain't right. No, I don't like, how you say that? You said that like, I don't like you. But it was like a self-sabotaging
Yeah.
thing because if I get you out of here, then you can't see my vulnerability
protect
and I can
myself.
protect
Yeah.
myself. And all that time, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It takes
And-
like block your own blessings. You don't even
Blocking
know.
your own blessings. And I also didn't know that I was still carrying stuff for so long. One day I was in my car. Now, mind you, my mother was an addict. So, of course, the late 80s, early 90s crack epidemic flooded our neighborhoods. Unfortunately, got a hold of my mom, right? And my dad raised me and my brother. So for a lot of my childhood, maybe like from like 8 up until my 11th grade year high school, my mom was in and out battling her addiction. I loved her. We loved each other, but she still wasn't there. And we have been programmed in the Black community, to just take trauma and just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Nobody never thought to get me no therapy as an 8-year-old who was used to having her mom around.
Right.
I'm talking about my mom was all that. Like, she would dress me from head to toe, spent quality time with me. We did things. I remember those memories. So it went from that to where she at.
Yeah.
Like, what's up?
Yeah.
Chill. Let me where she go. Like, I don't. And nobody never got me therapy. So I just had to deal with it,
Yeah.
right? And then that became my armor as things would happen. I just was like, you just got to deal with it, sis. This is how it happens. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. So maybe like 2 years ago, I'm in the car. I'm thinking about my life and my childhood. And I just broke down crying. I'm like, oh, just me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And I was like, yo, nobody never asked me about my feelings.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody never asked me, how are you handling this?
Yeah.
You know, your mom still, nobody even explained addiction. I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, nobody never said your mom is on drugs, it's not your fault. But this is what's going on. We're trying to help her. You're going to go with your dad. We're going to do this for you. The family's going to support. No, nothing. So I'm like, yo, nobody never asked the 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 11, 12, 13-year-old Ranisha, was she okay?
Right.
And they probably didn't have the tools to
Come
yeah,
on.
they didn't know.
But they
right,
needed to
yeah.
Come
ask
on.
you that.
Yeah.
Awareness. None.
Exactly. That's why it's important for, like, once we know the tools to, like, spread the awareness.
They
and
probably
get
thought you was protecting.
right. Yeah, by
Yeah.
not saying nothing, like, you know, that's protecting you.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm seeing all the stuff that's going on. My mom pop up, she high, all this crazy
Right.
foolishness. Sometimes I'm in the neighborhood, I see her. I'm like, okay,
Right. Like, what's
I
going
see
on?
it, you know. And then my aunts and uncles, some of them was on drugs. I seen it, but it wasn't a discussion.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
It's like all that time you like internalizing it, not realizing it. It's like,
I talk to my son about everything, yo. I'm so intentional, like it's crazy. Like I'm forcing him, like you're going to be able to communicate, express your feelings. We're not suppressing nothing. What's going on? Do you want to talk about it? How was your day? How are you feeling? It's okay. You can be sad, but I don't want you to get stuck in that space.
Yeah.
Pull yourself up. Let's figure it out. What's the solution? Like all of that. I'm intentional.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm intentional.
I feel like we got to be open, especially with the kids. Like, it's so crazy because, like, a lot of your story I can relate to.
Oh.
And, you know, so I feel like I was kind of, like, I shut down, like, as a kid because, like, I didn't understand, like, certain things that were going on. And, like, my mom, she, like, suffered with addiction and stuff like that. So
Shut
it's like,
down meaning you didn't want to talk about it.
I didn't want to talk about it. And also, I felt like maybe it wasn't, like, accepted to talk about it because, like, nobody really, you know, gave me that, like, opportunity to, like, talk about certain things.
It was, like, kind of taboo to tell your family's business.
Exactly, yeah. So I try to, like, you know, talk to my kids, like, you know, we can talk about these things. What's bothering you? You know, sometimes they hit me with, like, oh, Mom, I feel like this. And it like, takes you by surprise because, like, kids are, like, so vocal now. But it's like, no, I want them to be open and, like, feel comfortable, like, talking to me about what's bothering them.
Which is excellent. For that safe space to be with you, right?
Yeah.
We don't want it to be with whoever outside.
Exactly.
So that's very good to be able to communicate like that. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So, what are some financial moves entrepreneurs should make early on, like, to set themselves up for success?
Well, the first thing is credit. I don't think that our culture understands that. I think they just, when they think about credit, it's like, oh, I need that to get a new car. Oh, I needed to buy a house. Oh, I needed to go to college.
Right.
Or your parents didn't have their credit together. They didn't know. Nobody educated them.
Yeah.
So they can't even give you the tools. I had one parent call me like, hey, Neesh, I need you to help me with my credit. We need to do it fast. My daughter is about to start the second semester. I have to co-sign and my credit is messed up. I'm like, what? First of all, it can't happen so fast.
Right.
Especially if it's a mess. If you've had like delinquent accounts and derogatory accounts for years and collections and all this stuff, it doesn't just happen so fast.
Yeah.
Some people, possibly, other clients, maybe not, depending on how bad off it is. So the first thing I would say is that credit portion is so important. And then the second thing I would say is don't be afraid to invest money. Do not be afraid. For a long time, I wouldn't touch the stock market because I didn't understand it.
Right.
And all of the things that I heard about it was horrific. I'm like, oh my God, it could crash. It crashes like every 30 years. Like, come on. And when I realized that you don't actually lose money until you sell it. If you sell it less than what you paid for, you'll lose money.
Okay.
But if you just hold it, even once it drops, you're holding it. You're not selling it, so you're not losing anything.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So you hold it until it go back up.
Right.
And when you invest in a stock market, it's long term. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna put $5,000 in and I want to make $25,000 this year. You may, or you may not. I made like $13,000 in a month one time. That was great, right? But that's not always the case all the time. So you may put $5,000 in, and you may not see $25,000 for 5 years. But you might have had that $5,000 sit in the bank, gaining $5.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I think that also we need to take the initiative ourselves to research.
Yep.
All of this information is out there now. You got YouTube, Instagram, all these gurus. Some of them know what they're talking about, some of them don't. But the information is out there. So learn about credit. Don't just look at credit as a tool to purchase things. Look at credit as a tool to build wealth. Because once these banks begin to trust you and you establish relationships, they will give you money.
Yes, they
And
will.
if you don't have the money to invest, you use their money to invest.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? As long as I always tell people this, if you are going to use the bank's money to invest, you still need your own capital to make sure that you're paying them back every month. Because you don't want to ruin that relationship. So if you get a $20,000 line and you say, I'm going to invest in my girl hair salon, you give her the 20, you got to pay that line back, right?
Yeah.
They're going to want the payments back what? Every month.
Right.
Make sure you got money to pay that monthly payment.
Right.
Regardless of what happens. Even if she take 5 years to give you that 20 back. You better make them payments.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to mess your credit up. You never want to jeopardize your credit. Hopefully the investment is good and you will get your 20 back. And now you just created, even if it's $1,500 a month that she's giving you for your $20,000 investment.
Right.
Your 20 paid back, now you got $1,500 a month coming in extra income. You take that 20 and you do something else with it. So now you got 15 coming in from her investment. You got the 20 back, and then you will take that 20 and do another investment.
Yeah. We learned it today.
That's how you do it.
It's crazy because I really like this year, like I'm trying to be more intentional, like with my money, and like I've been learning like more like about like the stock market and stuff like that, because I feel like we really like brush a lot of stuff to the side, especially being like from like poverty environments and stuff like that. We think like, oh, that's not like ideal for me to do that. You know what I mean? We kind of just like brush it off, but it's like, no, we need to have these talks and we need to start doing this stuff, because it's like, this is how we going to be successful.
I want to get people in the habit of thinking like an entrepreneur. So the other day I'm in the car, I always have these aha moments. And I'm like, yo, at the conference, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to say, if I gave you $2 right now, how would you invest it? Let's go. $2 if I gave it to you.
Shoot, I would probably...
So let me give you a scenario.
Okay.
So I'm giving you $2, and you have that. With that $2, you have to think of how you're going to invest it, and I'm going to put you in a room. You're going to be at my conference, and I'm going to say, "Here's $2. What are you going to do?"
Okay. I'm going to put my $2 in the Franklin Fund Mutual, and as it starts to increase,
you got to bring me the money back at the end of that conference.
I got to bring you the money back at the end?
Yes.
I would probably like try to buy something for $1 and sell it for like more or something.
Where are you going to buy?
Something in the room, maybe.
Something
that somebody needs to
You
use.
see what I'm saying? These children is going to be like, wait a minute. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
What was the
I love
question?
this.
If I gave you $2, you're coming to my conference. I'm giving you $2, and I'm telling you to invest this $2. When I tell you to invest, you got to bring me back more than $2. What are you going to invest in? How are you going to flip this money, triple this money, quadruple this money? What are we going to do? What are we doing?
Well, I'll sell one of my essential oils.
How much are you buying those oils for?
Well, my limit is $12.
Your limit is not $12. I gave you $2.
That's a good question.
This is a good question.
And
But you going to do the $2 you said you was
This
going
is
to take?
really
I'm
good.
going to find something in the room. I'm going to buy that for $1. Hopefully that's
What you going to find in the room?
something that somebody need. And then I'm going
You in the right direction.
to sell it for more than I got it for.
What do they need, though?
They need maybe like a pen.
Come
or
on,
they
because
need...
that was mine. My
maybe-
first, you smart. My first thought was a pen. I'm going to be in
I
a
love
room
that.
with all these women. I'm going to the dollar store and buy a pack of pens. I am going to sell those 16 pack of pens for $0.25 a piece.
Right.
I made more than what I started with.
Sure.
So my idea was way better.
Okay, well, what's your idea? What's yours?
All right, so you're going to give me $2.
$2.
I'm going to go to the store and buy a lollipop. Boom. That's what we're going to do. Then I'm going to go to Candace. Candace is going to sell me one of her oils that people can have fun with. Then I'm going to put...
But wait. How much is Candace selling you her oils for?
Well, we work in business for business.
And how much is the lollipop?
The lollipop only like 25 cents. So
How many
boom,
you buying?
I'm buying 4 of them.
And how much you selling them for?
After we get these joints infused,
You don't have enough money to infuse them. You only got a $2
She
budget.
giving me the oil. I'm putting them in the lollipop
We
myself.
might be bartering on the side.
Okay.
We just complete
So now I'm
mission.
selling lollipops for $6.
Okay, all
There
right.
you go.
Shay, what you gonna do? $2.
I probably would, I don't know, create some type of contact list or something like that, and network with people, and so bargaining like contacts or something. I don't know.
Barter contacts?
Yeah, like network.
Yeah, but how you gonna produce money from that?
Just sell it really good.
So here's another thing. We're in the room. It's gonna be a lot of talking and socializing. What do you need when you're talking?
Okay, well, I don't have my On Guard throat drops that I sell.
Okay.
And I can sell those for $1
Okay.
per cough drop.
Okay. So I was thinking mints.
Yeah, it's the same effect.
Yeah.
But you're getting so many benefits just from that.
Okay.
So I could probably even sell it for more, honestly.
All right.
So I had to think of something that was organic to what I do. I had to think of something that was organic to what I do.
But isn't that a good question?
That's a good
That is
Give me $2
Right.
I'm going to say, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah. And the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to say I need 3 volunteers. And I'm going to say, come get this $2. What are you going to do? How can you bring me back 6?
Yeah, we definitely gotta go to the conference.
Let's do it.
We gotta go. I love that. It just give you like different ways of thinking, like really challenging you. We need that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I love that.
So good. I need my oil now.
Yeah, I need my oil.
That's so good.
So, what are some common like emotional or mental blocks you think that keep people from succeeding in business?
Financial block.
You're right.
When you ain't got no money, baby, you just stressed. That's like one of the number stress factors.
That's so true.
In everyday life, like just take a single mom who's living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Right? All of the stress that comes with that. Like you really got to make a decision if you're going to pay your electric or if you're going to get your car tuned up.
Right.
Because if you don't get your car tuned up, then you can't go to work.
Yeah.
But if you don't pay your electric, then you're going to be in the house in the dark.
Right, yeah.
So can you imagine how much stress
Can I
she
speak
has to
on that
deal
for a
with?
second?
Yes.
Because I am in that position right now. I was just telling you about that earlier. And it's nice to be busy and help all these people. But I also have 3 sons. I actually have 5 kids. I have 2 daughters who, are more independent now because they don't live with me. But I got 3 boys at home. And it breaks my heart because I'm so busy out making ends meet and whatnot, but I'm not giving my quality time. Like, that's so important to me. So I was just telling Jasmine earlier, like, when you're planning, I feel like you should be, and I want your input on this. I feel like when you're planning, when it comes to finances, it should be some type of precise, intentional plan to where it's like, I'm going to work hard for this amount of time. And by this time, right here, I'm going to be able to spend that quality time with my children.
I think, too, one, thank you for your transparency because a lot of people will fake it and all that, but you know how many people can relate to what you're going through? This is real life, right? Everybody want to fake, I'm doing
hurtful.
it. Nah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's figure out how we can change it. Like, what's the solution? So, one of the things is, what type of things can you do that's going to allow you to make money and still be there with your children?
Yeah.
How can you work from home? Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know what your skills are. We know you got to hustle, right? Your side, that's your hustle. But you can pick up a job at home where you're working a few hours where you still can work that job and work on your hustle and your business. You need something that's going to allot that kind of position for you where you working for somebody else, temporary, or even Ubering.
I do that. I do Uber.
Do you Uber like when your kids are down?
Yeah.
Like once they down, then you go and you Uber.
Yeah.
Okay. So things like that.
Yeah.
Also, what are some creative things that you can do for them to help them make money too?
Right.
Like what do they like to do? Yeah. Find out creative ways where you could do some classes, things. The type of investments that I like now. I'm 45. I'm not doing no hard grind. I'm not running out in these streets.
Right.
I'm not running. I don't want all my time to be spent in hustling and bustling. I need my time. That's what's valuable to me at 45.
Right. Yeah.
So I do things that I can make pretty decent money in a short amount of time.
Right.
So one of the things I do sometimes is I sell trade lines. I told you credit is bigger than what people think it is. So I've established good credit throughout my whole entire life. So since I was 18, I had good credit. So I have credit cards that's like 20-something years old. Credit cards with $10,000 limits, 0 balances. Wow. So I know from doing credit and the understanding of financial literacy what trade lines do to your credit. So you may say, Neesh, listen, I'm trying to buy a house. I done cleaned up all the collections and charge-offs off my credit, but my scores is still 640. I want to be at least a 670 or a 700 to qualify for this mortgage so that I can get this 4% interest rate versus me getting an 8% interest rate. Can I buy a trade line from you? I sell my trade lines. The cheapest one is $600. Just 2 weeks ago, I sold 3. I made $2,500. All I did was call the bank and say, hey, I want to add so-and-so to my trade line.
Oh, wow.
Added them to my trade line. The trade line showed up on their credit a month later. I made $2,500 in literally 10 or 15 minutes. I didn't leave my house. So you got to think of ways that you could use your talents, you could use your skills. There are a lot of business owners out here. They don't have the time. I just sat with Felicia Wilson yesterday. She owns Amina. She owns Black Hen. She owns Ivana's. And what else? Fia. She owns Fia. 4 restaurants she got in 2 years. She never owned a restaurant in her life. This black woman got 4 restaurants in a 2-year time frame.
I love that.
So I'm interviewing her yesterday. I have a segment called Minding My Black Owned Business, where I'm interviewing black business owners. So as I'm sitting there with her chef comes in the room and he like, I'm like, we're in the middle of an interview, dude. Like, what are you doing? So they're talking. She was like, oh my God, I forgot to do that. And they're about to open another restaurant in 2 weeks. I said, Fee, you forgot. She said, girl, I forgot that I need an assistant. I said, I got somebody for you right now. My assistant. She works from home and she gets to spend time with her children because she works from home. So she's doing stuff, emailing and doing different things for us, but she still gets to work in the privacy of her own home with her children. Yeah. So business owners, they can't do everything. They all over the place. Right. When you come to my thing, you need to network and say, I do personal assistant. Any business owners in the room, because I'm going to allot a certain amount of time for people to network. I'm going to say, listen, everybody get up. You need to go and talk. We're going to give y'all 15 minutes to talk, network, exchange information. If you're in the real estate industry, you over here. If you're in the beauty industry, you over here. If you this, everybody connect. You can say, listen, I do personal assistant. You need email sent. You need this. You need flyers created. You need da-da-da-da. I can do all of that for you. You get a couple hours of that a week with a couple different clients. You just created a streamline of income. Yeah. So you got to think creatively on a creative level.
And that's the name of my brand, Created New.
See that?
Way.
Yeah.
Just to sprinkle that in.
Yeah, it's out there.
But no, it's good. It's good that we have these conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think
sure.
outside the box.
Yeah, I love that. So, like, what are, like, some habits or, like, routines that you implement, like, in your own life to help you, like, stay successful?
Discipline. The areas that we need discipline show up.
That's fact.
It's like your money, you ain't got no money. Discipline. Your health, you falling apart, your knees hurting, back hurting, you don't work out, you don't eat right. No discipline. Right? That's one of my big struggles, but she helps me with that. Because, baby, I'll be like, Jim, but I got to.
Right.
It's like you want to live longer, want to live good, you want to be healthy, you want to look good, you got to do it. Discipline.
Yeah.
So, discipline, and as much as possible. We're not perfect.
Yeah.
But discipline as much as possible. I guarantee you, the winner in the room is not the most talented one. It's not the most talented or skilled. You could be the best hairstylist, lash girl, whatever in the world. But the person who gets up while you home sleep, baby, that's the one that's going to be the winner in the room. So discipline.
I believe that so much, like, consistency. You know what I mean? Like, building, like, you could start here, but it's like the more you do it, the more you're going to learn. You're going to have that skill. You're going to get better. Either way.
So refine it and perfect it.
Sometimes we spend more time reverting back than moving forward.
Come on.
Yeah.
And I think, too, because we have made it, society have made it seem like everything is so fast.
Yeah.
It's so quick. When I think over my life, I've been an entrepreneur full-time since I was 25. So that's coming up a 20-year anniversary. When I think of 20 years, that seems like a long time. But when I think of all the shit that I did in 20 years, it's like, sis, you the bomb. But you can't see it when you in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The hard
you
part.
like, this ain't happening. Oh, my God. I've been doing this podcast. I still got 3.
Right.
That 3 could turn into 300
Facts.
the following month because somebody post you went viral.
Right.
So you gotta be patient on your journey. Yeah. You gotta be patient.
That's so
on your
true.
Journey.
It could get dark.
It could
get dark, and you just gotta remind yourself, like,
you gotta remind yourself.
what is your purpose? Why are we doing this? The why, like, that's so important. Because sometimes I'll be like, damn, like,
you gotta
and people think
yourself.
this is easy too. Child, I do my Transparent Tuesdays. And I'd be like, damn, it's Tuesday again. I text my co-host the day of, like, what we going to talk about tonight? Because I'm really like, Tuesday just came so fast.
Listen,
Right.
And I'm in my house and I don't feel like doing it. But I'm like, the people need this because we focus on like mental health too. It's like we want to help our people. That was the
Yeah.
whole mission of it, to help our people be aware.
Right.
Once you are aware, now you can start doing the work.
Right.
But you really got to be doing it for you, because a lot of times I have done things and I wasn't even doing them for myself, but I show up as the superstar for somebody else.
Done
And,
for
and
you.
I had to dig deep and find out, like, Candace, why am I doing it? And I realized that I was doing it because I was still looking for validation from other people.
Yeah.
Because I wanted somebody to tell me I was doing a good job.
Right.
That behind the scenes, I'm giving you the blueprint that I'm not even following.
Wow.
So I really had to
Wow.
uncover that. And I had to uncover that on my own. A therapist couldn't tell me that.
Right, yeah.
That's good though. You doing the
I
work.
had to do it.
You doing the work.
I had to
Yeah,
do
you
it.
gotta have that awareness.
Awareness.
Yep, yep,
Awareness. It's so crazy because I have a saying. It's a quote, and I say anything done with love always wins. When you do something for yourself, you're doing it because you love it. You're passionate about it. It's going to manifest as long as
Yeah.
you do the work.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's going to manifest.
I love that. So just tying everything up with being fine on the inside, what is like one piece of advice you would give somebody who might not be, feeling fine on the inside, but is trying to get, to their goals?
You got to feel fine on the inside. Don't skip that process.
Right.
I think that I became so much more dynamic and powerful and useful by the Creator when I became fine on the inside. Do not skip that. And I wish we put so much energy into refining that part of us versus the exterior. We go fly to countries to get bodies done. We get these fancy weaves that cost $1,000, nails, lashes, all of these things to look good. But like Tupac said, dying inside. But outside, you're looking fearless.
Yeah.
Can't skip the process.
Can't skip the process.
Can't skip the process.
I've been getting chills all throughout this time.
I'm so
Ain't nothing
grateful that
coincidental.
you came.
I'm so
like,
happy
God
I
is
met
good,
you.
right?
God is good.
God
Perfect
is good.
timing. Oh my God. Well, thank you so much.
Yes,
Neesh.
yes, thank you. Make sure y'all show up and show out for that women's conference.
Yes, come to the conference, y'all.
Inspired
We gonna be
We
there.
out
Me and
there.
Candace
Power.
gonna be there, y'all.
March
Yes.
the 2nd is going down. If you want to leave feeling full and you want to work on just becoming whole, show up and show out. Be in the room.
And where can the people find you at?
You can actually find me. Go to my website. My website is Neesh Speaks. NeeshSpeaks.com. That's where you can see all the services I provide. I do life coaching. I do everything, y'all. And then you can follow me on Instagram at @BigBentleyneesh. BIGBOPPA. No info. Sorry, no.
Don't get me started.
BIG. BENTLEY Neesh NEESH, and you can just DM me. We can connect.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Y'all heard it here first. Make sure y'all follow Find on the Inside, and make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. We will see y'all next week.
Till
See
next
ya.
time.
Till next time.
Yeah.
Hey.